Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. So, I am Natalie Mack. I'm the founder of Military Homeschoolers Association. We are joined by our partnerships program director, Linda Benval. She's not able to come on camera, but she's supportive of this event. And we have some fabulous people from the American Red Cross. And so, if you're watching us on our MHA, Military Homeschoolers Association Facebook page, welcome. If you're watching us on LinkedIn, thank you very much. And if you're watching us on YouTube, that is super awesome. And if you're not joining us live, this will be a replay. And so we appreciate your comments and questions after you watch the replay. And we definitely want to make sure you are aware of all the awesome programs, particularly the resiliency programs that the American Red Cross offers. We know our military community is global, so that also means us as military connected homeschoolers all over the world. American Red Cross is all over the world. And so these resiliency programs may be possible for your particular military connected homeschool community. And so we are kicking it off next Thursday with what we call the DMV. For those not in this area, that's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. We're going to host something on Fort Belvoir installation at the American Red Cross building. And so you will be able to sign up. I think we're going for kindergarten through all the way up, and we're going to break into two sessions, two classes simultaneously. So you will be able to RSVP and get signed up. So look for that on our Facebook page, and we really are excited that you'll be able to come out and just help our children as military connected kids learn a little bit more about coping. We often say our military kids are dandelions, and they are. Our 5 children have been homeschooled all over the world, and we've been homeschooling 23 years. And I can say, yeah, they are very resilient. But I think as people, sometimes we get tired, and sometimes our children carry burdens we are unaware of, even if we're home with them as homeschoolers. And so why not give them a little extra to really kind of bring the coping skills classes that American Red Cross offers to our military homeschool community. So we're excited about the future, and we're excited about your engagement and participation. And this is just the beginning of the partnership. And so I am super excited to turn this one over. We're going to get some introductions going, and then the American Red Cross is going to show us an awesome presentation. And so if you have any comments, like I said, now or later, we'll try to respond as we are able to. So thank you all, ladies. I appreciate you for coming on, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to you all.
Hi, I'm Charlie Brown. I'm retired Lieutenant Colonel, United States Air Force, and I am also a retired school counselor and a full-time Red Cross volunteer. I'm a licensed mental health therapist, and all of the facilitators for the program are licensed mental health facilitators. We all have state licenses, might be social workers or psychologists, but we're all licensed and we're all screened, just so you know who's working with you and with your children. Okay, I think that's important.
Yes.
So I'll let the other 2 Red Crossers on here let you know who they are, and then we'll get into our presentation.
Yes. And Kate, did you want to go ahead?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Ebner, and I'm Regional Program Specialist here based out of Fort Belvoir at AT Augusta Military Medical Center. And I work with the volunteers, our wonderful group of volunteers like the amazing Charlie Brown and many, many others here at Fort Belvoir and Quantico, the Pentagon, and also the Navy Yard. And I'm here today to support Charlie mainly and learn a little bit more about this wonderful program because I'm a little bit newish, but I also am a military child. I guess I can still say I'm a child, even though I am the child of someone who was in the military, grew up Air Force, and I just love that this program exists, and I'm really proud of it and happy to be here with y'all today.
Excellent. Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shawn Bell, and I'm the Regional Program Manager for the American Red Cross for the Northern Virginia area. As Kate and Charlie have both alluded to, we are excited to be here to share with you a little bit about our resiliency. I am a military spouse of 25 years. My husband just recently retired, and so these are great programs, and my children have gone through these programs. And as Natalie alluded to, they are shared, these workshops are presented all across the country. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Charlie and let us get started.
Right.
All right. So what I'd like to do, because I don't know who's on with us, Natalie, is have you kind of work with me on this a little
Sure.
bit.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
Put me to work,
so
Charlie.
good. So when we do these workshops, we have workshops for uh, little ones and children and teens. And some of those skills are done in all of them and in the adult ones as well. So I think that's interesting. But we teach them in a little bit of a different way. But it's nice when the adults do the workshop as well as the children, because then they can reinforce it for their children. And I know as an educator, you understand that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That showing a child or a teenager something once is nice, but it doesn't cement the skill.
Right.
So if
Right.
you learn it and you can teach it, then you own it and you can help them own it. So
Exactly.
very nice thing. So
Yes.
the one I would like to show you is one that comes from our stress workshop, and it's in the coping skills workshop for the kids and teens. It's in the stress solutions for the adults. As you can see, they're sort of parallel.
Yes.
Okay. This is a breathing exercise and a very simple one.
Okay.
But the children call it starfish breathing. The
Starfish
teenagers
breathing.
call it take 5, and the adults call it finger breathing. Okay.
Nice.
But
Okay.
it's all exactly the same.
It's all the same. Okay.
It's all the same. So once you learn it, you can reinforce it with your kids. Okay. So
Yeah.
all you need to do is hold up your hand, and
Okay.
you can do it palm in or palm out, however you like. I'm more
Okay.
comfortable palm in.
Yeah.
And then one finger from your other hand. And what we're going to do is trace our fingers. And as we trace them, as we trace up, we breathe in, get to the top, and we pause. And then as we trace down, we would breathe out. Okay, so we're going to give it a try just across one hand. So breathe in and breathe out. 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 So very simple.
Nice. Yes.
Nice. And we know that it works. We've taught it at the camps and had the kids come back the next year to tell us how they used it on the school bus, on the way to school when they knew they had a test when they got in, just to kind of calm themselves.
Yes.
One of our kids was asked to stand up in the classroom and teach it to the class. She was very proud to tell us that. I like it because I can do it in my lap when I'm on a Zoom call and I'm frustrated and nobody knows.
Right.
So
You can
nobody can see it.
Right.
It's down here. No one can see it. So it's a very flexible exercise. And we have some things. So there's a lot of things in the stress solutions and the kids' coping skills that parallel this way. And then in the kids communication module and the adults communication module, again, a lot of those skills about speaking to people, how to read people, understanding nonverbals, and things like that, parallel. Okay.
Yeah,
So if the parents are willing to do the workshops, we're more than happy to have them do workshops as well.
that's
Okay.
good. That is awesome. And I think well, as homeschoolers, we have the time availability to plug these resources in so our children can practice them and master
Right.
them so that when they need them, they are adept at employing the tactics. And so we know stress is we aren't going to necessarily get away from stress, but we can learn
Right.
how to manage it and cope with it. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah, because stress is all around us.
Yes.
And it's good in that if we had none, we'd probably not get anything done. But too much stress, we know, is bad for us.
Yes.
So it's a matter of managing it to the
Yes.
best of our ability.
I
All right,
appreciate that.
Kate, you want to give us our slides?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now and
Okay.
see if I can get this going for you. All right. Okay, can everyone see does everyone see it?
We 1 second. I'm going to add to stage. There
Ah,
we
here it
are.
comes.
Yes.
Yay, we got it.
Okay, you
All
got it?
right.
Okay. All right,
Yes.
for some reason I'm trying to, okay. Is it in the presentation mode? Because I don't.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the slides on the side, so we're good.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
awesome.
All right.
Okay,
So this
awesome.
is a presentation about our resiliency program. Okay.
Awesome.
So
Yes.
next slide, Kate, please. So our program is about skill building activities and stress management, and it is a small group discussion mode. They're all free. They're all one-time standalone, and you can ask for a particular module. And then if that suits and you don't need any other ones, that's fine. Or you can ask for multiple modules. We can do one a month or one every couple of weeks, whatever works for your group. Okay.
Okay.
As I had said at the beginning, facilitated by licensed behavioral health professionals, and we specifically teach them about military life and culture.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Kate, next slide. Okay. The program offers reconnection workshops for adults, for children, and for teens. And then we also have mind and body workshops, and those have been very popular as well. Okay, next. Our workshops are discussion focused. They are skills building through hands-on activities, particularly with the kids. We have some discussion, but we really want them to learn skills and have tools in their toolbox.
Exactly.
There are a lot of course topics to choose from, especially for the adults, and we can do them in person, and we also have some virtual options. So if you have a group of people overseas or they can't come to some location, we can help you out virtually.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know.
All right. We encourage connection between the peers through conversation. So we ask people, how do you cope with stress? What's your go-to? And people share, and so other people say, oh, I hadn't thought about that. We have puzzles in our house, but I hadn't thought about using those, or dancing or something else. So we, the facilitators, are not the be all and end all for solutions and ideas. We want everyone in the group to participate. Next slide. So the topics for our adults are effective communication, stress solutions, that's the one that has the breathing exercises, among other things. And we also talk about how do you know when you're stressed? You know, what are your clues? What are your cues? Things like that. Trauma talk for those who've been through some serious situations. Diffusing anger, also popular. Emotional grit. How are we tough in tough times? Okay.
Right.
How do we do that? Connecting with kids. And this is not for the kids, this is for the adults. And it's more focused on what's normal and when do you need to ask for some assistance. Okay. What's not under that umbrella. Okay. Caregivers of wounded, ill, and injured service members. And we do a lot of those virtually because clearly caregivers are not always free to leave their wounded loved one and come somewhere else. And then creating calmness in stressful times, that one we do only virtually. So, and that was created during COVID, actually. Okay, next. And here's our topics for children, teens, and families. So for children's and teens, it's Roger that communication counts. And you see our age breakouts.
Yes.
Ages 5 to 8, they have to have an adult with them. Might be the parent, could be an 18-year-old sibling, could be a grandparent, but they need to have an adult with them. 8 to 12 and 12 to 17 can, without the parent. We have a second set of eyes who are also cleared to work with kids. They're available to facilitator. Then we have confident coping. That's our version of stress management for kids. Okay. Calm and connected. This is a virtual chat for teens, just for teens. And then a family laugh and learn, which has a wide age range, 5 to 17, and obviously with an adult since it's a family type workshop. All right, next. Our mind-body workshops are very experiential. We encourage people to try these techniques. There's a little bit of a psychoeducational discussion up front of that. We talk about the sympathetic nervous system and how that works and how you can use the system to sort of bring down your stress level and manage what you're feeling. And some discussions about which activities and techniques they like. What's important here, and I say this all the time, especially when I'm dealing with veterans who have been through trauma, is I encourage people to try things. If they choose not to try and just to watch, that's fine. If they're watching and they think this looks like fun or it looks interesting and they want to jump in, jump in.
Right.
If they start to do something and it doesn't feel comfortable, I tell them stop.
Got it.
Right away. That you're in control of whatever it is you choose to do. Okay, so very important here. And all the facilitators know that, so we all stress that for our participants. Okay? All right, next slide. So we want people to develop techniques to understand the difference between good stress and unhealthy or chronic stress. We want to connect bodies with minds, have people practice living mindfully rather than on autopilot. And when people look at me and they say, I don't understand what that means, I say, have you ever driven somewhere and you can't remember whether you stopped at all the stop signs along the way?
Yes.
Or if I ask you, what did you have for dinner last night and you can't remember,
Right.
then you ate on autopilot. Okay. And so that's how that works. And we want to come off autopilot and be in the moment, be present. Okay. Very powerful. Okay. Next slide. So we have two different workshops and they are standalone. So one says intro, um, and the other one I think says mind body techniques, but either one can be used as a standalone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so intro has breathing, basic mindfulness, some stretching and movement, body awareness, and a wonderful guided imagery. Okay, and the second one is, can I have second slide, Kate? The using mind body.
Mm-hmm.
So, how to use drawing, journaling, meditation, mindfulness, body awareness, using a body scan, and then using your mind to relax your body once you figure out where you're holding your stress, and then a very nice self-guided imagery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next slide. Okay, all our program facilitators must have, and we've said this before, active state-sponsored mental health license. We all have a master's degree or higher in a mental health field. We prefer people have some experience working with military audiences, but we also train everyone
Mm-hmm.
to military life and culture, so they have a basic understanding. And then we ask them to give us a commitment to provide at least 2 workshops per year. I just laugh. I probably do 20, 25 or more a year for the
Wow.
program.
Wow.
And I write material for the program as well.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. Next slide. So who are our audiences for this?
Mm-hmm.
Active duty service members, service separated, all types. It doesn't matter. We don't care what people's discharge certificate says. Doesn't matter to us.
Mm-hmm.
And retired veterans as well. Members of the National Guard and Reserve. I've gone out to do a lot of Guard and Reserve workshops. Family members. We do people who are considered dependents and people who are not considered dependents. So, what do I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
So, that means that the military is very strict about who's a dependent.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the spouse and the children of the military member.
Got
But
it.
we
Right.
also include grandparents, boyfriends and girlfriends, roommates, um, best friends, caregivers. We have a very wide aperture.
Wow.
Okay, so that's very important here
Yes.
when we talk about who's invited to these workshops. Family members, dependent and non-dependents, military caregivers, and
Mm-hmm.
those who work directly with military and veteran communities. So I've worked with teachers in schools that have a high percentage of military kids
Mm-hmm.
or veteran kids. I've worked in a VA hospital and sometimes in other hospitals where they treat a lot of military or dependent or veterans. So, again, a very wide aperture for this.
Mm-hmm.
Our workshops are different, okay? Families and non-dependents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one-time sessions. They're standardized, but we adapt them to the needs of the group and the community. So, for example, our communication workshop. I've done that I don't know how many times, but it can be anything from working with a group of military who are getting ready to transition out of the military.
Mm-hmm.
And so we might be focused on it's boots to suits. We might be focused on interviewing techniques
Mm-hmm.
or how to write a good letter or how to present well or what are your nonverbals saying about you when you're talking to an interviewer. I've done it for spouses group. So what's going on between you and your spouse? What are the messages you're sending back and forth? Okay. Or a group of parents. So we tailor these to the group that we have in front of us. Okay. We have so many exercises in each module that
Mm-hmm.
we can't do them all anyway. So we pick and choose and we tailor them to the group that we have. The other thing that I want to say here, and this is very important, is that while we're showing you slides today,
Mm-hmm.
there are no slides when we're doing the workshops.
Okay.
There are no slides. We have handouts,
Mm-hmm.
which we can use. We don't always use, but we can use. But there are no slides. It is not a death by PowerPoint program.
I
Okay?
like that.
That's very important.
Yes.
Okay? No cost. And if we don't have a local facilitator, the Red Cross will send a facilitator to you at no cost to you. They take care of getting them there, their meals, everything else. That's not your concern.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yes.
Good. Workshop logistics, 45 to 120 minutes. Usually, I would say 60 to 90 minutes is ideal for adults. Audience size, small group, we need at least 3 people. Anything smaller than that, and if it's too much one-on-one and it feels too much like therapy, and
Oh.
that's not what we want. And then for kids, it's 3 to 10, a little bit smaller group.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some larger group accommodations. A couple of our workshops can be modified for larger groups for adults.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but for kids, we want smaller groups. If we have more kids, we send in more facilitators.
Mm-hmm.
We do military installations, partner sites, VA hospitals, community events, work in some of our buildings. We work virtually. I've gone out to camps, Gold Star Kid Camps, Operation Camp Purple.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of different locations. When you request a workshop, you receive communication from a local Red Cross point of contact. You let us know how many people, the time, date, and location, which module, or if you're not sure, your point of contact can recommend a module after a discussion about what your group's looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And then you let us know who's going to be in the audience so we can make sure we tailor this to you. We provide all the materials, as many facilitators as are needed, and we do the transportation for the facilitators. Next. Resiliency workshops can be requested by contacting your local Red Cross, visiting www.redcross.org,
Mm-hmm.
or by using the SAF Hero Care app, which, by the way, if you don't have it on your phone, is wonderful. It's full of all sorts of tools.
Mm-hmm.
It has some great resiliency stuff on it, some breathing exercises that you can practice, just a whole host of things on it. Lots of really good information, how to contact us in an emergency. If you need our help getting to your military member, that's one way you can do it. So
Mhm.
I highly recommend that to everyone.
Mhm.
And of course, you can contact Sean or
Mhm.
Kate if you are looking to set up a workshop.
Mhm.
Okay. I think that's, oh, okay. So we did a couple of exercises. One of the ones I really like, actually, that's in the kids one, we do something similar in the adult, is thinking about what you say before you say it,
Mhm.
right? Because once you say it, you can't take it back. So
Right.
we do several exercises about that with the kids. And one of the things we teach the kids, and we ought to teach the adults the same way because it's very visual, is before you say something that you think may bother someone, stop and push the pause button,
Mhm. Mhm.
like that big red Staples button you've seen.
Mhm.
Well, picture that big red Staples button with a pause on it, like you see on your computer to pause a YouTube or something.
Right.
Picture that. And we actually have that in the handout for the kids. Push that pause button because it's much easier to stop and think about what you're saying
Mhm.
so that you say it the way you want to rather than having to apologize for it and maybe losing the impact of what it is you want to say.
Mhm.
So think it through
Mhm.
before you say it.
Before you say it.
Okay, so again, we have similar activities um, in the adult and in some of the kids ones. So this is one of the things we might do if we have a couple of people. The kids love this. We do this with the kids too. We have the one one child talks and the other one basically ignores them. So we have them look at their phone or look around the room, and then we stop and we ask them, how did that feel
Yes.
for you, the person who's listening, and you, the person who's talking? And then we have them flip and they do it the other way around. So that's how you know how it feels when you're trying to talk to someone and they're playing with their phone.
Yes. Ah,
And I think that's important. I
yes.
think that's important for everyone to understand.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, lots of us are guilty, right? Okay. So these are some of the other activities that we use. This is from the emotional grit.
Mhm.
Okay. How do, when you're going through a tough time, how do you bring joy into your life?
Mhm.
Because that's important.
Mhm.
So that's some of the things. And when we ask people to share, people come up with ideas for that other people have not thought of,
Mhm.
which is why this sharing is so important in this whole process. All right. Do you have any questions, Natalie, for me?
Yeah, I do. I
I'm
do.
sure you do.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
yeah. First, thank you so much, Charlie. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Kate and Sean. This has been really great. It's amazing with all the resources in our military connected community, and I know American Red Cross serves across the world, not just the military community, but it's amazing the resources that exist that we often don't know about. Resources that could just help things a little bit more in our life, right? And then free resources at that. So I have to definitely get that out.
Yes.
So I was taking notes, and so you mentioned the hidden helpers, the wounded warriors, and I know that's a passion that I have fallen into as we are now retired and have stepped into a little bit of that space. Um,
Right.
and the awareness of the responsibility that our children carry. I know the spouses and what we carry, but I know the children oftentimes they may not present in a way we recognize. Your spouses, we may be saying some things and talking to a friend, but the kids maybe just kind of carrying that responsibility. And so I really appreciate that you mentioned that community. And I know that as we here at MHA do a little bit more work helping the wounded warrior families who also have a responsibility where the caregiver is homeschooling as well. And so there's two sides. You may think if they weren't homeschooling and the children were sent to a brick and mortar school, maybe that would alleviate a little bit of the responsibility. But on the other hand, a lot of wounded warrior families are finding that they have a little bit more flexibility with their schedule and they don't have as many commitments as they would if the child was in a brick and mortar, meaning appointments you can handle those a little bit easier. And so anyway, I could go on and on about this.
Right.
I really appreciate that. That
Yes.
was more just a comment.
We do, yeah, we do have a workshop specifically for the children of caregivers.
Mm-hmm.
The other workshops are also appropriate to the kids of the caregivers. The other thing I want to say, I see something from Rita saying special needs kids can be accommodated.
Okay. Yes.
Let us know, because there are ways to do the workshops that don't require
Mm-hmm.
any writing to be
Mm-hmm.
done by the
Mm-hmm.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
And very often, a lot of the special needs kids are not comfortable writing things.
Mm-hmm.
So things can be done without writing them down. There are ways to remember things without writing them down.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know. I think it's important you let us know who is going to be on there and what their, I don't want to say limitations, but challenges might be, so
Right.
we can work with that.
Okay. Okay. That's great. The autopilot, that when you said how you sit down and you eat and you don't realize you can't remember what you ate or anything like that, and you think, wow, how many times? So you said a couple of things where I thought, oh, that's me. Maybe those that are listening and maybe watching the replay can identify and say, oh, that might be you as well. So practicing this mindfulness and staying in the present in a world where everything is super fast. And I think so much technology kind of grooms us, for lack of a better word, to think that things have to be fast, and we are easily bored if things aren't. But I think that personally, I think might be to our detriment and our children's detriment, because how do you learn about mindfulness when you have this competing, like, let's go, fast paced technology? So, yeah.
We do an exercise called mindfulness in 5, and it's very simple, and it has to do with using your senses. So we ask you to look around, and what are 5 things that you see?
Wow.
What are 4 things that you can hear? And I encourage people who are in a safe place to close their eyes when they are doing the other senses, because we tend to be visual override.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we tend to focus on what we see over our other senses, because that's the one that tells us the most quickly that there's danger. So that's natural.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
So we ask you to close your eyes, and I say to people, if you stepped outside and you heard bird song,
Yes.
I bet if you closed your eyes, you could tell different bird songs.
Wow.
See if you could distinguish different ones. Or if you close your eyes, can you hear the heating system kick on?
Yes.
And things like that. I
Yes.
can hear the cats actually snoring if I close my eyes. They're very quiet about it, but they do it. So I know they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And they sound different, the two of them. So it's actually pretty funny. So it's that sort of thing. So, what are three things that you can touch? And again, with your eyes closed, we tend to be more sensitive about that. So not just smooth or rough, but also soft and hard, and
Hmm.
temperature differences. Some things will feel cooler and some will feel warmer.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. So
I,
really focusing on it, and then also taste and smell. And
hmm.
I like to use the spice cabinet for smell. And that's again something just really nice to do. And when you're doing that, you're very much in the now.
I had not thought about that. I love that. Yeah, and I thought about just close your eyes. So that sounds like I might try to practice the five. What is it called? This
It's
five
called mindfulness in five.
mindfulness and five. Okay, love it, love it. So my last question. I saw who you serve, and um, I asked specifically about the Coast Guard families. I know the answer is going to be yes, but
Oh,
um, yeah,
absolutely.
in establishing, and the reason you may be why would she ask about them is because when we established this organization and we launched the first survey that we did for military homeschooling, families that are in Coast Guard, several of them reached out and said, "So, do you want us as Coast Guard to answer this survey? And does your association serve Coast Guards?" Because they were, and it was quite odd to me, but it did cause me to pause and realize their experience and how sometimes Coast Guard families are feel now that over the past however many years it's been. I think since 9/11 they've been under DHS. And so, but you obviously, so I'm going to ask for the Coast Guard families just because I know they probably want me to ask. So you serve the Coast Guard families, they are included.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Coasties, you're here. We love you.
Yes.
And as far as
Come.
you're concerned, you're one of the six branches. So I don't care which
Absolutely.
department you're under.
Yes. And the new Space Force as well.
Yeah, right. The Space Force as well. Good. Yeah, don't forget them. So we got six branches. Everyone's included. So that's awesome. So thank you, thank you. I don't see any other questions that have come up, but I know we're going to get, like I mentioned, before we came live, we'll get views on the live stream. Oh, Marisa, one of the Coast Guard said, "Yes, thank you for serving us, Coasties." That's
Yes,
what she
and
does.
thank you,
Yeah.
Coasties, for what you do.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Try not. I mean, when I had those questions asked, I just was like, I never thought differently, but their experience, at least from those that mentioned it, and I want to respect and honor them and make sure they know verbally that they are included. So this is really great. I really appreciate that. Again, we will be hosting the resiliency workshops for this area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. So if you're listening or you're watching later the replay, we really want you to tune into our Facebook page, Military Homeschoolers Association, and grab the link to get registered. We are planning for next Thursday, the 17th. And we will have, like I said, two groups. And so I think our plan is kindergarten on up through 12th grade. And so don't leave out your high schoolers who may seem very independent and capable and may be very, you know, may not actually express that they're struggling, but we know that we all go through struggles, and stress is part of life. And so whether or not someone's verbalizing it, we can be preventive, we can get ahead, we can give them the tools. Once they launch, right, from your homeschool, they're going somewhere else. Probably it could be to work, it could be to college, it could be to military service or trade, but giving them helping them have the ability to have these skills and practice mindfulness is so valuable. And so I'm really looking forward for myself because I don't think I practice the mindfulness, and I know autopilot. My goodness. So definitely. So I appreciate you all. So thank you so much. I don't know if you have anything else, Charlie or Kate, before we close out. Just let me know.
I just wanted to thank you for hosting, and to all the parents out there too. Thank you for what you do, and just bring your kids by the Red Cross office too anytime. Like I said, I'm at the hospital at Fort Belvoir, and I'm a former teacher too, so I love seeing the kids. And good luck with all you're doing, and thank you, Charlie.
Yes. Charlie, did you have anything you wanted to say before we close out?
No, just thank you all to all the parents out there for being present, or if you're watching this on the recording. If some questions come up, Natalie, please feel free to reach out to me.
Yes.
I will be more than happy to get you the information back to the parents. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I appreciate you all. Make sure that you are following us on our Facebook page, that you have checked out our YouTube channel and subscribed. Our podcast has already launched, the Base to Base Military Homeschooling Podcast. And so we're always seeking guests. We're always seeking any partnerships and sponsorships. So definitely tune in to us. And again, I appreciate everyone joining us and or watching the replay. And have a good afternoon.
all right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.